times he felt the bicep on the ring. So his bicep literally has a dent in it. He hit it directly on that dent, so it's just really aggravating.
Definitely has a lot of momentum. Oh my God. Up next. That man, Jonathan Clark, a.k.a.
This is not a good time for questions, brother.
Can't you see? We're at Mass.
Greetings, brother. I'm Gregor, and I'm new here.
Greetings to you, brother. I'm Yodok, the oldest of the novices. I hope you'll like it here in the monastery and that you won't get into trouble.
Trouble?
You're young, perhaps intemperate. You might easily stray from the rules of the order. I suggest you get to know the older monks. You never know when it might come in handy.
I found this piece of parchment. It looks like it's been ripped out of a book.
The words mean nothing to me. Ask in the library.
Listen, there's something I ought to tell you. There's a dangerous criminal hiding in the monastery, and I came here to look for him.
Ha! I knew it! He's a villain. Who are you, though? Oh, it's better not to ask, isn't it? It's always safer not to ask.
Never mind that. Who's a villain?
That's Siskin. I always thought he was an odd one, the way he carries on. But now it makes perfect sense. He's a criminal fleeing justice.
What are you talking about? You clearly know something I don't.
I'm telling you, keep your eye on him. He's no monk. That's what my gut tells me. And my gut's never wrong. What are you going to do to that fellow once you find him?
I don't know yet.
You should talk to the Circators or the Prior about it, not act on your own.
Can you tell me something about yourself?
I would if there was anything noteworthy to say. But I'm just the ordinary son of a landowner, now a monk. There's nothing in my past, present, or future that anyone could find interesting.
Why did you join the monastery?
Because it was better than living in poverty. As the youngest son, I'm not entitled to inherit my father's estate, but he was kind enough to sell off some cattle and send me here. And you know what? I'm glad to be here. It's better than mucking out manure.
I'm interested in the other novices. Do you know anything about Antonius?
Only that he came to the monastery voluntarily, because he didn't want to work in his father's shop. Antonius is all right. You can rely on him. He won't betray your confidence. He's always happy to help, which is more than can be said for the other brothers.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Are there any rifts between the brothers?
Yes. From the moment talk began about electing a new abbot, it's been like a hornet's nest here. Strange that you haven't noticed.
Who's in charge of things around here?
Truthfully, everyone except us. But officially Abbot Peter, and soon enough, someone else. As if it mattered. Our life will still be work and prayer.
Are there already candidates to be the new abbot?
Brothers John and Nevlas. But the others have been fighting like dogs because of them. We don't have to fight about anything, though.
Why is who wins so important?
We're young and we'll spend the rest of our lives here. And the abbot decides everything about our lives. Didn't it ever occur to you how powerful he is?
Why can't novices vote?
They say we don't have enough experience to decide about anything. Don't worry, we'll get our chance.
Tell me something about life here.
Work, prayer, work, prayer.
What are the roles of the various...
Someone takes care of the library, someone else the garden, the abbot... But it's the Circators you should worry about. They're the brothers who make sure... They can be quite strict, so if you want to avoid getting punished, always...
Who would you vote for?
Why do you care? We don't have the right to vote, so we...
I'm just interested, that's all.
I like John better. But like I've said, it's not our place to get involved. It's enough that Antonius is mixed up in it. Don't you start too.
Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature as to keep them from idleness and at the same time not to overburden them or drive them away with excessive toil. Their weakness must be taken into consideration by the abbot. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the abbot. Therefore, when anyone receives the name of abbot, he ought to govern his disciples with a twofold teaching. That is to say, he should show them all that is good and holy.
I'm Gregor, a novice. I saw you at the ceremony.
I know. It was hard not to notice you.
And you are?
Lucas, also a novice. Don't get upset, but I...
The abbot should always remember what he is and what he is called, and should know that to whom more is committed.
I'd like to know something.
I don't know.
Let him make no distinction of persons in the monastery.
Do you know anything about your...
I don't. He doesn't like me, and he's on very friendly terms with the circuit.
And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of
You really don't know anything about anyone?
since he has the authority.
Well, thanks anyway.
to cut out those faults by
Don't
the
get
roots
upset.
as soon as they begin.
Sorry I can't...
Remembering the fate of Heli,
Will you tell me something?
There's nothing...
I mean, where you're from? What sort of...
I'm a novice, and my monastic name...
but bold, hard, proud, and disobedient.
You see, I'm looking for...
You're looking for someone? But you're an...
I am a novice. At least in...
Why would you be looking amongst monks? You know, the laws of man aren't valid here. In the cloister we're...
I'm looking for a footpad who's hiding out here in the monastery. He had a hand in raising the...
I heard something about that.
Because you could help me. It has to be one of the other novices.
That can't be. Have you told the prior? What do you...
That is to say, he should
Talk
show
to
them
him.
all that is good
Do you have any idea which of the novices could be...
I don't know, and I don't care to know. I wish you'd never...
words to the intelligent among his disciples, but demonstrating the divine precepts
Listen,
by his
brother.
actions for those of
Is there anyone in the monastery who can help me get...
If you're looking to get into mischief, I'm...
and what he is called, and should know that
If you could.
But I can't vote, so what's the...
more is required. Let him make no distinction.
I'd like to
of
ask you some-
persons in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another.
Well, that's
Unless
all.
it be one whom he finds better in good works or in obedience. And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but since he has the authority, let him cut out those faults by the roots as soon as they begin to appear. Remembering the fate of Heli,
God be with you.
be well. The well-disposed and those of good understanding, let him correct with thorough admonition the first and second time. But bold, hard, proud, and disobedient characters he should curb at the very beginning of their ill-doing by stripes and other bodily punishments, knowing that it is written, the fool is not corrected with words. And again, beat your son with the rod, and you will deliver his soul from death. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on humility. The first degree of humility is obedience without delay.
Talk to me, brother.
Will you tell me something?
There's not much to tell. I lived in... It's peaceful here.
So you chose to come here?
It may seem strange, but I'm one of the few novices that did. I might be the...
I'd be interested... I'm interested...
No one knows much about him. He doesn't talk to anyone. It's as if he wanted to get it all over with.
What about your...
Be on good terms with him. If you show even the slightest hint you don't like, he's a slimy little pedant who'll rat you out to the superiors. Once he finishes his novitiate, I imagine he'll want to climb his way up the ladder to at least...
That's all. Thanks. I need to make a
I'm no priest, but tell...
I'm here in the monastery looking for a...
You don't say.
The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the abbot. Therefore, when anyone receives the name of abbot,
That's not important.
Why are you telling me this anyway?
Perhaps you could help me find him?
all that is good and
The missing thief. If I knew anything, I'd tell you, but I suppose it must be one of the novices. I've only recently heard about them.
I know. Aside from me, there are only 4 novices, but still, I don't know which one he could...
3? Please, leave me out of it. And you're right that it could be... No one knows anything about Lucas. Siskin might be a lot of things, but a monk isn't one of them. And Yodok is a slimy worm. Actually, the more I think about it, the less I like that Yodok. He's a treacherous rat who'd do anything to get in someone's good books. The thought of Yodok...
And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but since he has the authority, let him cut out those...
I don't think it was him. But please, don't tell a soul what we've been talking about.
Don't fret, my friend. Your secrets are...
Who would you choose as the new...
Why should I even think about that when I don't have the right to vote? What troubles you?
Knowing that it is written, the fool is
No.
corrected with words. And again, beat your son with the rod,
Huh?
and you will deliver his soul from death.
Gotcha.
The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on daily manual labor. Idleness is the enemy of the soul. Therefore, the brethren should be occupied at certain times in manual labor, and again at fixed hours in sacred reading. To that end, we think that the times for each may be prescribed as follows. From Easter until the calends of October.
Talk to me, brother.
Is it possible to learn something about the other novices in the library?
Only the abbot and the prior keep such records.
And can I see them?
No. The abbot writes and keeps his...
I found this piece of...
It appears to be a page torn out of Ovid.
Ovid? What is that? Is it the name of a book?
Not what, but who. Ovid was a great Roman poet. We have a... Now I believe I can guess what happened. Brother Eustace, may the earth rest lightly on him, was quite narrow-minded when it came to classical literature. If a book had any mention of... If he'd had his way, all such books would have been burned. Ovid's The Art of Love must have been such a thorn in his side that he stole it from the library, tore it up...
Oh, would you like me to put the book back together again?
Absolutely. Eustace's wits weren't the sharpest, so I'm sure he didn't destroy any of the pages. I imagine he hid them throughout the monastery. It might take you a while to find them all, but when you do, you can rest assured.
Good. I'll look around.
Thank you, brother. It's of no great importance, but if you...
Can you tell me something about the book?
The Art of Love is a sort of manual instructing young people how to find and maintain love. It's a lovely work. I don't understand what bothered Eustace so much about it.
Where should I look?
If I knew, I wouldn't have asked you to do it. The pages of the book could be hidden anywhere, from the garden to the refectory.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. What can you tell me about the novices here?
What can I say? You're here to demonstrate your devotion to God and to live a monastic...
I meant something specific about the brothers that are here.
But you know them yourself. Yorick is an odd one, but he's diligent and eager. Perhaps too eager. Antonius is hard-working and will help with anything, but prays less than he ought. Lucas is as quiet as a mouse, and no one...
Can you leave?
Where would you go? You have everything you need here. Anyway, all the doors here are closed. The Rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the Abbot. Therefore, when anyone receives the name of Abbot, he ought to govern his disciples with a twofold teaching. That is to say, he should show them all that is good and holy, by his deeds even more than by his words, expounding the Lord's commandments in words to be intelligent among his disciples, but demonstrating the divine by their minds. The abbot should always remember what he is and what he is called, and should know that to whom more is committed. From him, more is required. Let him make no distinction of persons in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another, unless...
I'm Gregor and I'm new here.
I know. I saw you in the church during ceremony. I have the feeling we'll be meeting again soon.
What does that mean?
I make sure everyone observes the rule.
When it's not the way it should be?
Then we're authorized to mete out punishments. But...
I'd like to ask you...
Good understanding. Let him correct with verbal admonition first and second time. But bold, hard, proud, and disobedient characters he should curb at the very beginning of their ill-doing by stripes and other bodily punishments, knowing that it is written, "The fool is not corrected with words." And again,
praise be to Christ, brother.
beat your son with the rod, and you will deliver his soul from death.
Listen, brother. Is there anyone in the monastery who can help me get hold of something,
Idleness is the
well,
enemy of the soul.
something that's not so readily available?
If you're looking to get into mischief, I'm certainly not going to help you.
To that end, we think that the times for each may be prescribed as follows. From Easter until the calends of October. At the middle of the 8th hour, and let them again do what work has to be done until Vespers. Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned a task or craft. Or drive them away with excessive toil. Their weakness must be taken into consideration.
I'm Gregor, a novice.
I know. I saw you at the ceremony. My name is Nebulus, and I'm the provost here. I'm in charge...
That means you get to leave the monastery?
No, not at all.
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been waiting for you. There's the alchemist's laboratory. You'll find ingredients in the chests next to it. Today's task, 2 cockerel potions. Once you finish them, you'll find me somewhere nearby. Don't forget to let me know when you're done so I can check them. Crux Santa sit mihi lux, non Draco sit mihi dux.
Spirits, Valerian 2 minutes, Grindamin, Boldamin for 1 turn, Valerian 2 minutes. Then, spirits.
What is it, brother?
I've finished my work.
Show me what you've made. Spectacular, Gregor. You've found your talent. Soon enough, you'll be teaching the other novices. Talk to me, brother.
Is there anything I could help?
You know, there is. Perhaps you've heard that Abbot... I'm interested in medicine, and I know there's a cure for the Abbot's ailment. With your help, I could find out the details, and together...
What do you need me for?
In order to get the recipe for this medicament, a few rules will need to be broken. Now, you know, most of the... I, however, think if God sent us not just illnesses, but also the medicine to cure them, the cure for Abbot Peter's illness could be contained in one of the books in our library, but it will certainly be amongst the libri prohibiti.
Why are they forbidden?
Because they contain occult and demonic practices. It's nonsense, of course. This is nothing but a book of medicine. Ibn Sina, also known as Avicenna, is universally acknowledged to be a wise man. But here, at some point, someone decided his book is the work of a Saracen devil and must be kept under lock and key. Since then, no one can even talk about the book.
Where can I find it?
In the library, there's a large cabinet with a lock on it. The forbidden books are inside. You'll easily recognize what you're looking for. The cover has not only a Latin inscription, but also Saracen letters. Bring it to me. No one will notice if one book disappears, but if more were to vanish, someone would certainly begin to look into it, which is exact...
Is there anything you can...
There's a key to the cabinet in the prior's chambers. The librarian should have another one, or you can acquire some lockpicks. But I can't tell you where or how.
Why can't you do it yourself?
Because I'm one of the highest-ranking monks here, and one day I'd like to become abbot. Can you imagine?
You could just ask for it.
Do you honestly think I haven't tried? Unfortunate.
I'm ready.
One more important thing. There's always someone in the library during the day. To pass unwatched, you'll need to go at... They say Brother Solarius understands locks, but don't tell him why you need it. Once you have the book, we'll soon have the election of the abbot over and done with.
Is there any way I could help you get elected?
What would you like to do? Climb up the tower and shout, "Vote for Nevillus, vote for Nevillus"?
Not exactly. You do have an
John isn't my opponent, he's my brother. But there is something you could help me with. You must know there's a great deal of iniquity here.
Should I find out for you what's going on around here?
Let me make this clear. I want to base my candidacy on putting things in order. But if I...
Very good then. I'll find out what I can.
Thank you, brother.
What troubles you?
I'd like to ask you something about... What are the roles?
Well, the abbot is the head, but he's not here now. As a novice...
Who would you like to...
Brother John, obviously. No one's interested.
Are there ever...
Unfortunately, yes. The biggest quarrels, right now...
Tell me something about electing...
The old abbot is practically on his deathbed. There are 2 candidates. Half the monastery wants John, the other half...
Tell me about John.
John is a circator, and the oldest brother here. It would be only natural if he took the crown.
I'd like to know about...
Nevlas manages the monastery's property. He doesn't have the most experience, but although perhaps he's too keen to change our routines here.
Why does it...
Because the future direction of the monastery hangs in the balance. The younger brothers feel they have to work more than their superior brothers, and that some brothers are more concerned with their own comfort. The older brothers take a different view. They say the younger monks want privileges they haven't earned.
I thought politics...
You're right. But we know nothing besides the monastery.
I'm looking for something a little, unorthodox.
And what would that be exactly?
I'm looking for lockpicks.
Lockpicks? And what would you like those for?
I'd like to practice opening locks, just for the fun of it.
Just for fun. Pull the other one, brother. It's got bells on. Anyway, you're barking up the wrong tree. I can't help you. What would you like?
I'm looking for...
And what?
I'm looking for...
Lockpick?
What's it to you? Do you have some or not?
Peace, brother. There's no need to get all worked up. So you heard I used to be a burglar, did you? I put it all behind me as soon as I took the vows. But I do have a few lockpicks left. I'll trade them for food. Get me a bite to eat, and you can have your lockpicks. Can't say fairer than that, can I? Aha, Gregor.
read one of the manuscripts copied by one of the novices. I think I'm going to cry.
It's that touching, is it?
Touching? More like infuriating. A horrible, abominable waste of blood.
But they'll learn.
Brother, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be working somewhere? Idle hands are the devil's workshop.
I definitely was there. I did come a little late, so perhaps no one noticed me.
Brother, I wasn't born yesterday. This is your first warning. Don't do it again.
The forbidden books must be in that cabinet.
Books written by the devil himself. Forget about them.
What troubles you?
I found a few pages of the torn-up book, but I still don't have them all.
Wonderful. Keep looking then. I'm sure you can find the rest.
Brother, what are you doing here?
You're right, brother.
This is your second warning. Do it again and you will be punished.
My name's Gregor, a novice.
You can call me Siskin. Now, are you here of your own free will, or is this a punishment? Although, it's not important.
Did you say purgatory?
You'll see soon enough. Soon enough.
Will you tell me something about yourself?
Look, nothing against you, but I prefer...
Are you hiding something? Why are you so reluctant to tell me anything about yourself?
I'm hiding a lousy past that I'd rather forget. I hate to think of all I lost when they stuck me in here. And also because I really hate the question, aren't you the son of the faith? I was rich and I had everything. But then my father began to feel his time approaching, so he decided to send a son to the monastery. I've no head for managing the estate, and they said I'd squander it. Can you imagine? Me in a monastery. So I took what...
What's your plan with this treasure?
To get out of here as soon as I can. I'll wait another year or two until my hot-headed brothers cool off a bit, and then I'll take the silver and run off somewhere, far, far away from here.
But you didn't have to come here if you didn't want to.
No, not if I didn't mind being left to beg alms by the city gate. I had one choice, the monastery or nothing.
They must have realized...
I donated some of the silver to the monastery when I came in, just to piss them off. I can just see my brothers.
And you stashed away the remainder?
Indeed so.
That's all I wanted to know.
Please, keep it to yourself. Especially the part about the coin.
It occurred to me you might be the man to ask. I'm looking for some lockpicks. Do you know anyone in the monastery who could help me?
Lockpicks, eh? I won't ask what for. My advice is to try Brother Solarius.
How is it that you don't get any penance for missing morning prayers?
I've paid off the circators to turn a blind eye. And the other monks don't notice as long as you show your face there from time to time. No one's too awake at that time of the morning.
Who would you elect, Abbot, if you could?
Most likely Nevlas. He's a fine fellow and he seems honest. The monastery will still be a monastery, no matter who's in charge. If you really want to talk more...
I'd be interested to hear what you think about the other novices. I'm interested in Yodok.
What could interest you about him? He's a no-good rat. He'll turn you in for the price of a turnip. I'd bet my life that if he wasn't here, he'd be a cumin scout, bowing and scraping for a few groschen.
That doesn't sound too flattering.
It wasn't meant to. No matter what you do here, watch out for him. He's got his eye on everyone, and he'll rat on you for even the slightest of infractions.
Tell me about Antonius.
Well, if there was a monk I'd recommend as a friend, with of course the exception of myself, it would be Antonius.
What can you tell me about Lucas?
It's a tricky situation with Lucas. No one really knows anything about him. I've tried so many...
That's all. Thanks.
I'm still curious about this treasure trove of yours.
It's no big terrible secret. Really, it isn't. I just go and read during services. There's no time otherwise. I mean, at other times I don't get to read what I like. And I keep it under the slab so the others don't find it.
What kind of a book is it?
I found it here in the library. It was on a shelf where it should never have been. So I hid it to read later. It's the Necronomicon. Ghosts, demons, and invocations of powers beyond our world. Only it's written in a strange language that I can't really make sense of. All bara this and bara that. Who knows what it means? I tried to count the syllables, read the words backwards, but nothing. I'm not getting anywhere with it.
Oh, I'm not too sure what the prior or the cicada would say about a book like that. Actually, what anyone would say. It sounds quite... prohibited.
Ah, prejudice. But you're right, it is prohibited. For no...
You're right. Knowledge should never be prohibited.
Oh, I'm glad you agree. Just take a look at the book. Maybe you'll be able... Just please don't tell anyone about the book. If the brothers learn that I took it from the library and hid it, I'll be in a lot of trouble.
I'll leave you be. Don't worry, I won't follow you again.
Thank you. And please, Gregor.
I'm still curious.
It's no big terrible secret. Really, it isn't. I just go and read during services. There's no time otherwise. I mean, at other times I don't get to read what I like. And I keep it under the slab so the others don't find it.
What kind of a book is it?
I found it here in the library. It was on a shelf. It's the Necronomicon. Who knows what it means?
Oh, I'm not too sure what the...
Prejudice.
You're right.
Oh, I'm glad you agree. Just please don't tell anyone about the book. If the brother...
I'll leave you be.
Thank you. And please...
I'd like to ask you... Well, that's all.
What would you like?
Brother? What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be working somewhere? Idle hands are the...
I was feeling a bit queasy.
Brother? I'm sorry, but... Now, this is your third warning.
Very well, brother. I accept my punishment.
Now, show me what you have on you. I must confiscate anything that is not allowed.
Oh, fuck. Dude.
While I was locked up, someone was making quite a racket in the cellar. Blind drunk, I'm sure of it. I wonder what's been going on.
Peace be with you, brother.
Don't move a muscle. Brother, you were somewhere you shouldn't have been. Don't you know?
I've had enough of this.
You dare resist punishment? Let me remind...
I apologize.
Now,
Service.
Praise be to our Lord Jesus. What would you like?
I'm looking for something.
And what would...
I'm looking for...
Lock pick?
What's it to you?
Peace, brother. There's... So you heard I used... I'll trade them.
Apague, Satanas.